Hey, I'm Tim Ellis. I am a visual artist, painter mainly these days, and also an art teacher. I have been teaching art for 30 years, um, including pottery, sculpture, drawing, painting, and even advanced placement drawing and painting, and pottery and sculpture. So I've seen a lot of students come and go. And I think one of the things that is really common to what I hear from people a lot is, hey, you have really talented students because I've seen what they can do. And I think one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have is people either have the ability to draw and paint and make art or not. And I think there are elements that, are inherited and, people start at different levels. But a lot of people tell me, man, I wish I could draw. I wish I could paint. I could never do what your students do. I could never do what you do because I just don't have that ability. All I can draw is stick figures. Well, I have good news for you. A lot of my students come in just being able to draw stick figures. And by the time they've kind of gone through the basic drawing program, they can draw realistically, and so can you. So I want to kind of debunk the myth that you're either talented or you're not. So sure, it might be harder for some people than others. Believe it or not, I'm one of those people that nothing really comes easily to me. I've developed skills in a lot of things. So some people think, oh, you can do anything. This is not true. I have every learning disability that has a name almost. I'm exaggerating, but I do have dyslexia, dysgraphia. I'm pretty sure I have ADD. Things do not come easily to me. I'm easily distracted. I used to hold my scissors upside down and backwards when I was a kid. Lots of things that came really easily to other people did not come easily to me. And I'm just mentioning that because maybe you're like me. Some of the basic skills you're supposed to learn in kindergarten, apparently I didn't do so well with, enough that they wanted to keep me back. So if you're feeling like you can't ever learn to draw realistically, I have great news for you. I believe you can. I've literally taught thousands of students to draw, and everybody improves a ton. So I'm going to show you some of what I do and some of what my students do. But I would really, really like to encourage you that you can do this. So one of the things I have my students do is before I've taught them anything, I have them do a self-portrait. I have them draw their hands the best that they feel like they can and draw their faces the best that they feel like they can. They can use a photograph, they can look in the mirror, they can work from their imaginations, however they want to do it. And then I tuck that away, and at the end of my drawing class, I give it back to them after they've done a self-portrait and a hand, after a whole bunch of instruction and lessons. And the way I approach drawing realistically is not kind of the traditional academy approach. And when I say academy, at the time of Van Gogh and Dali and Picasso, some diverse time period there. But really, if you wanted to be an artist, you would go to the art academy, whatever, country you lived in, the major cities had them. And you would learn by, some very traditional methods. You would a lot of times draw plaster casts of torsos and heads and, very, very traditional step-by-step. This is how you draw a process. Now, I do use some step-by-step things that I use over and over again, but it's not what you'd expect. So I use an approach that I did not come up with, but I have changed it, modified it, and made it my own, and I feel really perfected it, which is Betty Edwards' drawing on the right side of the brain, where it's based on the premise that we all have a dominant side of our brain. If you're right-handed, that dominant side is your left brain. And if you're left-handed, that dominant side is your right brain. And we tend not to really use the other side of our brain for most things. Now, you need both sides to do anything, to talk, to communicate, to find things, to ride a bike. But we tend to have our dominant side. One of the reasons I had such a hard time as a kid is I grew up both-handed. And it really kind of messed me up because our world is not built for both-handed people or even left-handed people. It's built for right-handed people. And all that to say is, one of the things you can really benefit from is learning to perceive, which is a right brain activity. Instead of memorizing a million shapes and How in the world would I draw a dog or a cat or a face or an angry face or an eyeball? Instead of memorizing those things, what I'm going to encourage you to do is actually perceive and learn how to draw what you perceive. If you can draw what you see, you can draw anything. So that's my big encouragement, and that's what I teach people to do. So if you're interested, I even have 2 free lessons you can do and follow along and see if you feel that left brain, right brain shift and see some improvement. We'll do crazy things like draw only looking at a drawing upside down and things like that to help you learn to draw what you see instead of what you've memorized. All right, let's look at some stuff. So where's my Chrome? Chrome is right here. I'm going to pause and come right back. Something's a little off here. All right, I'm back. I already had my Chrome up, and that's why you couldn't. I couldn't see it because it was already there. Anyway, so this is some of my work. I'm going to click through. I do a lot of large-scale paintings. My paintings are between 4 and 5 feet tall, and I really love drawing and painting people. Now, this is what most people are afraid of. They're afraid of hands, faces, and mainly people, anything to do with people. Most people are terrified to draw that. And that's what I really, really enjoy doing. And that's what I will teach you to do. So in my basic drawing course, I'm teaching you pencil drawing. But you can also take some advanced classes with me and learn color and things like that too. I love color and distorting and magnifying color and inventing colors that aren't really there. And that is, to me, where the party's at. All right, I also do large clay sculpture. That's not what I'm going to be teaching you, but these same ideas of learning to draw what you see transfer over to sculpting. If you can perceive, you can draw, you can paint, you can sculpt. And I do teach my students sculpting as well. So these are some paintings I've done from an artist series. Keep in mind these are all about 4 feet tall. If you'd like to see any in-depth videos on any of these, I've done videos on why I painted a lot of these artists because they're all very dear to me. I'm going to just keep clicking through. And I did a bunch of jazz artists. All right, we're getting to some of my students. So on the left, you're seeing before I've taught the student anything. And on the right, you're seeing after they've learned. So maybe you're drawing like the drawing on the left right now, and that's okay. Most of my students come in drawing shapes that they've memorized, and they learn to draw what they actually see, like the drawing on the right. So before instruction on the left, after on the right. Here's a whole bunch. Before on the left, after on the right. This one is just so remarkable. This girl already came in loving art, drawing outside of class, filling up sketchbooks, and she's already good at drawing on the left-hand side. But she, in a few months from this class, and by the way, this is normally a 2 to 3 month period of time from the drawing on the left to the right. It just depends on how quickly we go through it. She was able to surpass my pencil rendering abilities in 3 months. So I was so impressed with this. And I do have students that get better than me at pencil rendering, which is not my greatest skill set, but I'm very good at teaching this drawing method where you learn to draw what you see. There's no tricks. It's just perception. And I do teach you some techniques, but like I said, it's not a traditional academy approach. All right, let's look at some more. And this student of mine went on to just do amazing things. Her after is a great after. Her before was already a good drawing. But she just fell in love with drawing, and her thing she loves to do is draw realistically now. And she has also surpassed me in her drawing abilities. She did these drawings. One on the left is a pencil drawing. It's not a photograph. And she did these as a sophomore in high school. I believe the one on the left was done as a junior in high school. The first before and after was done as a freshman. And that's most of my students are in 9th grade when they do those drawings. Again, before and after. I love this one on the left. It's so much fun, but look at her on the right. And this girl on the left, already an incredible drawer and renderer, obviously kind of in a cartoony style, but amazing, but was able to then produce this drawing on the right. So why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this to show you also can learn to draw. So whatever you currently draw like, if it's this, that's because we normally learn to draw in kindergarten, elementary school. And then what happens is after kindergarten and elementary school, we really never learn much more. So we learn by drawing with symbols. Draw a roof, it's a triangle. Draw a house, it's a rectangle, or maybe a square. Draw a body, it's a rectangle, or a foot, it's an oval. And this is great. We want to learn to draw those things, but then we want to move beyond that. But when you're first learning to like move your hand around, yeah, it's important to learn those shapes. But then there's so much more we can do as you become more efficient and more adept at drawing. You want to be able to actually let your hand do what your eye is doing and draw realistically. So most people never move beyond this. And that's why you feel like you can't draw. And I am going to teach you how to draw realistically if you'd like to. So we tend to draw from things we've memorized. So even if you can draw a beautiful eye like this one in the bottom right-hand corner, notice this is a step-by-step symbol process. This isn't drawing what you're looking at. This is drawing what you've memorized. Most people memorize hundreds, if not thousands of shapes instead of just drawing what they're looking at. And what most people want to be able to do is draw realistically. If you want to draw realistically, you're going to draw what you're looking at. And that's what I want to teach you. It's called observational drawing. You can do it. Instead of memorizing all these shapes, which really, they're cartoons anyway. Nobody's eyes really looks like these. You want to draw what you see. Now, if you want to be able to cartoon well and, be a character designer or an animator, those are great things to be able to do. And these skills will help you there too, because that allows you to invent and improvise, right? All right, so and just to review a couple of these at the end. So my students go on to do much more creative things than just render realistically. And eventually they find their own creative voice. And a lot of them do college level work in high school and get college credit for it. So, I don't have that class available online yet, but if there's demand for it, I will. So that's kind of the end of that presentation. I'm going to get big here for a minute. Sound like Steve Martin. Look, there's two of me. Anyway, I hope that encourages you. You can learn to draw. You can learn to draw realistically, no matter what level you're at now, no matter what you're struggling with, you can do it. So if you'd like to try my free lessons, I will link them down here. And if you end up liking that, you can buy one of my entire drawing classes. I have different levels where you can subscribe, but you can just try it out for free. And if you liked this video, I have a whole bunch of other videos you can watch. I even have some in Procreate and Metabang Paint and some basic drawing large-scale drawings as well for more advanced students. But start with this. Try my free lessons if that's interesting to you. And hopefully you'll like and subscribe this one and watch some other ones. Feel free to share this with your friends. And if you end up liking the free lessons, share that with them too. They can do the free lessons. All right. My name is Tim Ellis. Hopefully you enjoyed this instructional video on how you can learn to draw. I didn't teach you very much about that, but that's what we do next. So if you enjoyed this, check it out. All right. Let's make some art together. Bye-bye.